Hey guys, Shop Dog Lisa here, and Dean from the Archive Shop. This is episode 5 of the Bridgeport rebuild. Alright, you want to get down? Okay. Alright. So, here we go. So hopefully my editing skills are getting better. It's been a challenge trying to assemble bits and pieces from different cameras and trying to keep the timeline straight. In this episode, I spent quite a bit of time talking about and showing the mounting feet for the mill. You might want to just fast forward if that's too boring for you. But anyways, hope you enjoy it. There'll probably be one more episode after this for the grand finale. So anyways, thanks for sticking with me, and let's get going. Come on, good girl. Good girl. Yeah, there you go. Here's the mounting feet installed on the column base. A little easier to see on this one here. So once again, I got these feet from Zorro Tools. They're 5/8 stud type, and then the adjusting bolt is 3/4 National Course. And if we come around over here, let's see how this works out. I got a jam nut, SAE washer. I made the back ones a little bit longer because there's less tripping hazard back here. I tried to keep these front ones as short as possible, just for extra toe room and so forth. And I figure if it becomes a problem, I can always cut the head off, slot it for a screwdriver slot, just to gain a little more clearance. One thing to note is when Bridgeport drilled these holes in the base, by the way, they're the perfect size for 3/4 National Course. You don't have to do anything, you just tap them right out. But they're not perfectly aligned. These back ones are not too bad. This one is leaning to the inside a little bit. This one's leaning to the outside. So what I had to do is come in and relieve the casting. See if we can get an angle here. I had to come in and relieve the casting a little bit with a die grinder. This one down here with the casting flash and so forth on there took a little more work to relieve it. So, one second here. So what I did is these are the stud type feet. Now they do make a socket type foot that's double the cost. I went with the stud type. I had to cut about 1 inch off. Come on, focus. Sorry, I'm not getting. But anyways, I had to cut about 1 inch off. I did not use the jam nut, obviously, and this is a reducing rod coupling. We got 3/4 by 5/8. So these are, forgot to mention that these are 5/8 feet with the National Course stud. So I Loctited, red Loctite, the couplings and the adjusting bolt, and of course tightened them as tight as I could without over tightening. And I tried to take one of these apart because I noticed up here on this one, oops, sorry about that, that I did not relieve enough. So I was going to take it apart, and let me tell you, that red Loctite, it is holding really good. So rather than have to heat it up and break it apart, I just came in with some needle files and got behind the foot and gave it a little more relief. And I did check it when it retracts in. Oh, sorry for the crappy camera work there. When it retracts in, it just clears. So it should be okay. And I also came in and pre-lubed the ball joint. And I actually used a bearing lube is what I used on it. It's a engine assembly lube, which is it's pretty sticky, and hopefully it'll stay put. And I put just a tiny bit on the adjusting threads as well. So okay, well anyway, there's your Bridgeport column base adjusting feet. And my next task here is going to be priming and painting. So, and of course masking off and so forth. Okay. Okay, forgot to mention these feet. By the way, Zorro Tools is where I got these. Really happy with other items I've purchased from them. Anyways, these feet are 5/8. They are available in a socket version. And that was going to be my original choice. Although I think I did mention they're double the price when you go with a socket instead of the stud type. And what I was going to do, here's the leftover piece of the 3/4 bolt. I was going to turn down the end of the 3/4, turn it down to 5/8, and there's enough diameter there that it could be rethreaded. So I was going to turn down the end, rethread the last inch for 5/8. Of course, I would probably have to single point that in the lathe. So all things considered, I'll show you in a second. This was the way I chose to go, and there's enough clearance. The feet retract about 1/4 inch below the rim of the base. So that was one of my goals, is to make sure the feet would retract far enough that if you ever had to use pipe rollers or whatever to move the machine around, you'd be okay clearance wise. I was hoping to have enough length that I could use it for jacking the machine up high enough to slip machinery skates underneath, but that would have left way too much stud sticking out on the upper side of the machine. So I decided not to go that route. So anyways, here's my lathe is not ready for prime time yet. I've got to do a complete tear down, clean up, and some restoration on the southbound heavy, or south bend heavy 10. It does run. It needs some help. I got a great deal on it, but it needs a great deal of work. Sorry for the pun. So anyways, that'll be another project. So anyways, that might be an option for some of you guys to use the socket type rather than the stud type with the reducing coupling. Okay. Leadscrew nuts. The y-axis, this one, it's in pretty good shape, so I'm going to reuse it. But the x-axis is it's got a fair amount of wear. Not real bad, but heck, now's the time to change it. I just hate spending almost $60 for a new nut, but you know, what the heck, right? Okay. Okay, so still working on paint. I got 2/3 of the knee painted. This has been the hardest piece to work on, just trying to position it to where you can work on it and not have it and still have access. And yeah, so anyways, this little cart's been really handy. All right, so I got this side to paint. I got to do a little more masking. Post over here. So I didn't do as much body work on the jack post. Kind of running out of time. I gave it a half an hour of sanding, wet sanding, so I think it'll be okay. You really don't see it that much anyways.